Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero of Psych Defender over the fatherland, off here to glorious, near amazing 1v1 on Crossroads Winter. In the north, it is Iskra fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, coming at Stalin, and the 10th Guard Tank Corps here with Guard Rifle, Guard Motor, and airborne troops. In the south, it is Angreifen fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here rolling out with the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division with mobile defense, mechanized assault, and mechanized. A Grenadier MD42 start versus double conscripts. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without them and their continued support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So big thanks to all those people. Other people can join the ranks by Patreon, or they can donate by PayPal. Links in the description. Finding, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing. Also upset the Propagandacast a fair bit. So we're off to the races here. Grenadier MD42 versus double conscripts, with a selection of commanders that are mostly standard, though certainly mechanized assault and mobile defense perhaps not the most common, though not uncommon either, particularly not mechanized assault, and mechanized is fairly common now, and then of course Guard Motor is by far the most common Soviet commander, with Guard Rifle and able troops seeing some play. It's the third conscript there for Iskra. Can't find there being sandbagged with Pioneer, spanked up there by the MD42, though not quite there. He needs to bait the conscript into the MD42's line of fire if we can really stop them. Might be able to do it there, and there we go. Caught here by the MD42. A quick blast of light there. Does not suppress them. Fortunately for Iskra. Angreifen left to either pursue or back off. The question is which he does pursue here. Could be a trap here set by Iskra to bait Angreifen into a kill zone, but fortunately for Angreifen, that does not look to be the case. Second Grenadier squad almost there for Angreifen. Continue the pursuit of the conscript squad. Iskra, they probably need to retreat soon here before they get suppressed for real this time. And once more, they do get out of the arc of fire of the MD42. In the far east, Grenadier can point there for Deutschland. So basically, the Pioneers then fought to secure the entire left flank here versus Iskra, while the Grenadiers then may be looking to launch an assault on the eastern fuel point. A bold strategy that definitely requires some top-notch handling here from Angreifen, or he could risk conceding the western resources to his opponent while failing to gain the east. Second east squad for Iskra definitely, I think, makes this look like either Guard Motor or could be Guard Rifle. Airborne troops could still happen, but I think with this type of build order, you're typically looking to invest into some maybe infantry. In the south, the Grenadiers with the Engineers there. Grenadiers looks like they will win the engagement, but will take some time here, which is fine, I imagine, for Iskra. As again, this keeps the Grenadiers from joining in the fight in the west or pressuring the fuel point, forcing the conscript to be drawn off here. So, third Grenadier squad there for Angreifen, but the western position, as you can see, that is being swamped here, is being overwhelmed by much more maneuverable infantry under Iskra's command, completely leaving the entire western front there exposed now to a Soviet push. On the east side, they did manage to push back the Engineers, and he's now pushing for the copper on this road to turn in the favour there to Iskra. Third Grenadier squad would like to try and launch a counterattack here towards the fuel point. Please keep Iskra on from long enough. And there we go, immediately down sandbags there, very powerful abilities in the conscripts, as this can make a German counterattack much more difficult, plus mines on the car point. Bold move here, and definitely can make things more difficult here for Angreifen. Machine and Pioneers reinforcing, in fact, they're being rushed straight ahead here. No time to reinforce the MD42 crew. He needs to suppress those Soviet infantrymen as fast as possible. Got the car point there, moving on to the fuel point there. But the west side is definitely where the focal point of fighting is. We got a fourth Grenadier squad here for Angreifen, a heavy tier 1 build here. It could still be mechanized assault, but clearly no assault Grenadiers. So I think assault Grenadiers here have been quite handy versus Iskra. Other way, conscripts push back there. Fairly heavy tier 1 again versus 3 conscripts, 2 Engineers. Depending how well Angreifen then utilises this, could actually put some pressure on Iskra and make things uncomfortable for them. We got the Pioneers there busy with some sandbags on the car point. Conscript caught with the MD42. Grenadiers here versus constant east. Grenadier squad they're supporting. May want to get a bit closer here to a bit better accuracy and DPS versus the Soviet infantry. Engineers being pushed forward here by Iskra. Flamethrower squad on the way for the other one. Support company up there. We'll have to, of course, move straight ahead in terms of tech, or what he will do in the face of Angreifen's increasing Teutonic pressure. And the west side of the front line has broken as Angreifen, the numerous Grenadiers and MD42 teams were able to push through there. And Iskra's conscript to Engineer build suddenly looks a bit weaker, as it doesn't quite have enough heavy firepower there, or even infantry, to really stop a German infantry build, which is part, I think, why we're seeing more Grenadier heavy builds from the Wehrmacht team, where they're just skipping the MD42, simply because the current Soviet builds are kinda, not I would say weak, but they're not strong in a sense. They can actually overwhelm there by a good aggressive play, committing heavy to the infantry. They've got S-Mines here in the centre from Angreifen. Angreifen, one of the few Wehrmacht players, by the way, who fairly consistently puts down S-Mines versus his opponent, so thumbs up there. Gunnison getting the comps there, middle of negative cover. Definitely not where you want to be caught here by anyone with a Carnot AK bolt action rifle. Medics up there as well for Iskra. Still no commander for either player. Bunker back out there in Angreifen space. You can see that from two Gunnison suddenly building something, and seeing as bunkers is the only thing they can build, you know, it's pretty clear he's building the medic bunker inside of his base. Rifle grenade off here. Fired from the Schießbecher, or shooting cup, which is basically an attack you put on the rifle's barrel, then you could fire a rifle grenade. I believe they also required a special round to make it work too. As an additional fun fact, it could also work on the G43 and the Sturmgewehr 44. So, little fun fact. There you go. Iskra with Guard Motor, T-35s, heavy mortars, Guards Rifle Infantry, Angreifen in the S-Mines, and Konstantin and Dimitri both expire. Vehicle crew repair training and the marked vehicle again. Guard Motor, by far the most popular commander, and is for a good reason. It's just solid and flexible. Like, you know, obviously most players are going for 3 counters between engineers, but even like you went for 4 counters, 1 engineer could easily just go Guard Motor and just add them in as well. Then it's like, you know, no real requirements to the commander in terms of like your overall strategy. You just go Guard Motor and you slap it on. That gives Guard Motor in that regard another sort of level of strength. MD4 we got in the east, we got sandbags in the east here from Iskra. Like the Mechanized company up there for Angreifen the German army. Grenadiers healed up here. Good to go for another push in the name of the Reich. Guardsmen coming forward here for Iskra and the Red Army. DP light machines up the Guards, increasing their firepower significantly. Back in Iskra's base, nothing further transpiring. Worth noting, no tech. So, probably no immediate threat of T-70s for Angreifen, though he will probably still go for a pack 40 because timing-wise, he goes for the mortar there, which is honestly not a bad pick either. A good weapon here to have, particularly on a map like Crossroads. The smoke screens it can provide can be quite disruptive, can make it easy to push through, but they can of course also just make it hard for your opponent to attack or defend with its high explosive barrages. Big push getting an east out at the same time in the west. We also getting big push from Istra, so both players launching coordinated efforts here to get the other resources into their hands. We'll have to of course who gets ahead here. Now both sides have the same amount of infantry, though of course Angreifen crucially has the heavy machine gun team and the mortar to back up his men, whereas Iskra's got, well, not any of that. Though of course he could go for the heavy mortar here with Guard Motor, he could also just go for more Guards Riflemen. Comes in a bit of trouble on the east and the west side, though the assault is largely going through successfully due to Angreifen having no serious presence there. A mortar though moving up here, ready to bombard the third. Guardsman caught here, center being cleared out of mines there by Iskra's engineers. Thumbs up. Counter from the east. So 3 Grenadiers, that's pretty much like almost his entire infantry force occupying the east there. Bit risky to be honest there for Angreifen. Mines here being laid down a plenty in the center. Thumbs up there to Iskra. I'd say that is a very simple piece of work there. Mortar does push away Iskra from the carve point, but still Angreifen's forces are fairly aggressively extended, and there's still no commander from him. So no real clarity as to what Angreifen is playing at, though if you sort of consider the typical play patterns of Angreifen, historically, he does tend to favour stuff with the target tank. So Mechanized assault, I think, ends up looking very likely here for Angreifen, even if he hasn't picked it early on. But it could be like Mechanized, maybe a command tank, or mobile defense for a command tank. We'll of course have to see here. But Angreifen does tend to favour the Wehrmacht tier 4 stuff like Tigers or Panthers a lot. More to find the country in the west and the east side there. So into pushing forward through the snow. It's like snow, but 25% more American. Anyways, rifle grenade off in the guardsmen. Also got the entire squad. The well-placed rifle grenade. Very good. Pioneers in the center on the west side. He fighting for the cup when it continues, but Angreifen is able to break here the back of Iskra on the west here with support from the machine gun and the mortar in the east there, though. Angreifen's going to be easy of the 5th Panzer going to be accompanied overwhelmed here by Iskra, who is going for the T-70 here. 9-minute T-70 is kinda late-ish. That said, unless Angreifen is pushing for some fast medium armor, it may not be a complete disaster here. In particular on a map like this, he could swing the match back in his favour fairly aggressive with the T-70, in particular since it is worth noting Angreifen does not have pack 40, though theoretically he could respond by like going mobile defense into Puma in response, like, you know, to the T-70. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but he could do it. We got to take that for Angreifen. Say good, could rush out Strug, I guess. Mortar being hauled forward here as well through the snow. And the center side into forwards, but while being cut. No minesweepers yet for Angreifen, though I think at this point he should strongly consider minesweepers here versus Iskra, since obviously Iskra is laying down mines, and versus any sort of player like, you know, worth the salt, you should 90% of the time expect mines, like 95 even. 99 probably. Like, there may be a few who never goes for mines, but like the average player like of any like decent rank will lay down mines, and they will look to punish you for not sweeping for them. Because here the Iskra in particular is one of those. He is laying down a lot of mines. We do get mines up there for Angreifen finally. Thumbs up. So, could build the support core again. Could try and rush out Stuk here on Osman in response here to Iskra's T7 light tank here as it pulls ahead here. Machine's about to hit a mine here. Oh, spotted narrowly by the minesweeper. Close call there. But T70, of course, is ready to strike. Then, of course, no minesweeper will stop the T70. Using the knees in the east here. Again, crucial to note, no Pack 40 here for Angreifen, so he's probably planning to push back with something here against the T70 rather than go for the Pack 40. West side here more rounded as Iskra once more converges a significant chunk of his forces on the western carve point here. In the east side, we got Gunnese again pushing forward for Angreifen, looking to once more reclaim the eastern half, and there goes Gun for Iskra. Support core going at the Angreifen. Likely a Panther 4 that could go for the Ostwind or the Stuk. He would go for the command tank here. We shall have to see what exactly it is here that Angreifen is planning versus Iskra. How does he tend to respond to this socialist, lightly armoured menace? In the east side here, though, so the infantry repulsed, rebuffed at fairly low cost there to Angreifen. We got the mortar crew wiped out, the mortar dropped in the snow right next to the corpse of poor Ludwig. There we go, Panther for Angreifen, a nice in-between choice there. Nothing wrong in that. No take yet for Iskra. I mean, he's definitely some time away from any medium armor. He can build the Mechanized armor company now, start to upgrade the conscripts, but in terms of tanks, with the current rate of income there, it's definitely going to take some time to actually get there. Gunny sitting a mine there, losing Fritz and Otto, and we got that T7 striking into them, killing poor Heinz, and he's just Jürgen to live here, and I don't think Jürgen's got much to celebrate there in terms of survivability. Yup, wipe. Good kill there for Iskra and the Red Army. Mortar recruit by some few plucky pioneers. And there we go, we do get the Panther 4 there for Angreifen. Ready. And Iskra is getting more map control here back with Angreifen. Field moving forward, T7 rushing westwards there. Grabbing some points, mortar moving forwards. Panther 4, the cat in the field in a pretty bad spot, but one of course has to keep in mind there's a lot of mines about here, which makes it a bit more riskier for the Panther 4 under Angreifen's command there. It's difficult to keep the pioneers keep track with the Panther 4, though theoretically there's a trick he could do, which is he gets a half track and then he fills with the pioneers called mines from his innocence. They can spot mines from the side of the half track. That way you can just, like, you know, support and attack that way. Spotting more mines though, good for Angreifen. That's good for Iskra's chances of stopping the Panther 4. And there we go, lots of mines here. That's technically a lot of ammunition that could just be, you know, rendered for naught there. And that's why you get mines, because otherwise there could have been a lot of dead Germans, or for that matter, Panther 4 disabled right in front of a, you know, field gun, which would be pretty disastrous for Angreifen and the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division, which obviously would not access to a Panzer. While they did technically have a Panzer battalion in the Panzer Grenadier divisions, they were typically, you know, equipped with Stug 4s, or Stug 3s, I guess they couldn't get that, instead of actual Panzers. Like, occasionally the Panzer Grenadier Division would get Panzers, but typically because, you know, another division had been disbanded, or, you know, they had been upgraded from a Panzer Brigade, so pretty rare circumstances, pretty rare. Panzer Grenadier Angreifen to replace the Lost Grenadiers, thumbs up. I would say Panzer Grenadiers is a great addition here. Iskra once more pushing off some Angreifen infantry in the west. Panzer Squad heading westwards there, equipped with the Sturmgewehr 44, and these Panther 4 they're being fixed up with the pioneers.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Mechanized armor company up there for Iskra and the Red Army. Can start upgrading the console then with the mobilized reserves ability. So still some time to go before we can call in any armor. 42 catching the console around the center. Panther 1 catching out in the open. There it goes, shoots and misses. That was really lucky there for Iskra. Mortar moving in. Panther taking a nice hit. Molotov on the MD-32. Panther's got the car point back here. Though Angreifen's grabbing the eastern fuel point cut off there. Once more denying Iskra, denying him crucial resources. Good play there by Angreifen. There's still no commander. Like, the longer this goes on, the more this definitely looks like Mechanized assault just for the sake of the Tiger, which, you know, I always find a bit of a shame. Iskra meanwhile decides C2 needs some light artillery, in this case going for the HM30 120mm mortar, which is a fun fact, was in the Soviets' heaviest mortar. They actually had a 160mm mortar as well, which is actually breech loaded. So, fun fact. Panther's in the T70. Could finish off with the Panther 4 here, perhaps. Perhaps. Nuclear phase, and there he goes. Shoots but misses the T70, but a good luck there for Iskra. Mortar fire closer to the guardsman. Panther pulling ahead here for Deutschland, looking to silence that T70 is going to clear up the field gun. Oh, there you go, bombardment straight to the amateur grenadiers. There you go, almost wiping up one of the grenadiers. Caught to the guardsman, couldn't in fact finish his job here. No, just enough light there for Angreifen. That was definitely uncomfortably close there for him and the German army. Might want to pull back that Panther 4 before it gets turned into target practice for Soviet gunners. There you go, buttoning it up as well there. Close call, but does manage to get the Panther 4 out of there. Hit mortars also added. Soon to be added. Pack 40 there. No tier 4 yet. Still no clear indication as to what the overall strategy of Angreifen is currently have as Iskra. Got the heavy mortar repositioning. Narrowly avoiding getting hit there by the German mortar. T70 getting the Pentagon is actually around the centre here. Pack 40 almost done for Angreifen. Taking some man losses there as Fritz there gets shot to bits by the 45mm gun in the T70. Gonna get pushed out. Controlling up here. T70 also powered there 2 with 8 kills. Might want to try and grab some more points in the west. Like, there's basically just this wide open free real estate here for Angreifen to sink his claws into, but for whatever reasons Angreifen decided that is not important, or perhaps he's just forgotten about it. I mean, there's certainly several possible interpretation as to what's going on there, but I do think the optimal move would be moving to grab the points there, considering like he's doing nothing to defend it, so it would be very easy for Angreifen just to grab all that, get another victory point, but crucially get a munitions point and some other resource points into him. Because while again this may not look like a lot, that's still like basically 12 fuel and, you know, I think roughly 20 munitions just for all the other points around the munitions point and top the victory point. So it'd actually be a lot there to gain from just by grabbing these points, but again, Iskra's doing basically nothing to defend. Panther being pushed out of the field gun, the guardsman. T35 there for Iskra, very good for him. Angreifen has gone for tier 4, so the big question at this point, is it the heavy Panzer Corps and the Panthers, for example, or is Angreifen dreaming of Tiger tanks? Still no commander to either. But again, if it is Tiger tanks, obviously going to mechanize assault, at which point you're having up, honestly, or sooner just for access to the light artillery barrage, could be a good idea here for Angreifen. As that is, you know, fairly handy ability during an attack. Like, you know, say you got the push, you got the tanks, you got the infantry, and then, you know, doing all of that, you then call in the artillery, right? Your opponent's trying to, like, organize a point of defense here, and then force your opponent to have to manage even more during said assault. Guards in heavy trouble there. There's the grenadiers, the light machine guns, and of course the more supported in the center there. Panther being held up by the Soviet troops there. East side being gobbled up by the infantry. Panther, I think, once you get a bit closer with those conscripts, this current range is not effective for the Panzer Grenadiers. Not effective. Back in Angreifen's base. Panther 4, they're being fixed up. Grab the car from there. Go T-35 strikes. More pioneers for Angreifen. I think it's a good idea, but I also think getting some clarity as to what he wants here to help deal with that T-35 I think would be good. Some telemarch runs from Angreifen would have been a great idea here and there. But besides those S-1 in the center, there's not really much from there. Got Pack 4 Lance Grenadier on the side of the T-35 from the east here. Panther 4 versus the T-7 Lighting. Got the constant from the side here. Panther 4 struck off the shots of the T-7s. They failed to make any impact. Flanking as well there. Not that he really needs to, obviously. Besides the arm, there's no real benefit in games like flanking a tank. Though in reality, you know, flanking a tank can typically also mean you can hit like its ammunitions. doors, you know, cook it off much more easily. Or hit the engine. Panzer there with the damaged engine. Betty too though, so that's nice there. As for Angreifen, still no heavy Panzer Corps. He's got the command points now necessary to call in the Tiger tank. T-Fed everything repairs, sandbags up here. Still no Telemanns for Angreifen. This is despite you having 200 munitions, in fact more than that. So a Telemann here now I think could be a fairly good investment for Angreifen to help deal with the T-Fed 5s. T-Fed for 85s, there we go. For some reason I keep skipping the 85 in it, so that's a bit of an awkward mistake there with me. Don't know quite where I picked that one up. Comes with the punch grenade there, bun grenade off good there I think. Oh, he actually has popped it already. Never mind then. Morty needs to get out of there. Heavy Panzer Corps Angreifen. Could still with the Tiger tank. I have seen some players like still built like the Heavy Panzer Corps, despite that you don't actually need the Heavy Panzer Corps to call in the Tiger tank. The Tiger tank is pretty much the only tank where you don't need, like, you know, the late game buildings to like build it to call in. But that's because you still need to go for tier 4 versus in most other cases, like with the Search of the Mechanized Armor Company, and like, you know, the big late game buildings, also the tier 3 buildings, is like, you know, less significant resource investment that way. Mortar wiped out. So we'll have to see what he goes for. Again, could be a Panther, could be a Tiger tank here versus Iskra. Pack 40 lands a nice hit there on the T-Fed 5. Iskra destroying the German mortar. He wants nothing to do with that fascist piece of crap. T-Fed roaming about here for Iskra and the Red Army, looking for targets to destroy. And successfully finding the pack crew here and utterly annihilating it. That's a great kill for Iskra, and a definite problem for Angreifen and the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division, who still hasn't gone for a commander here. Like, we're over 20 minutes of the game and Angreifen still hasn't picked anything. That does feel a tiny bit concerning to me. Panther for the catch in the T-35, but the T-35 is quick to give the Panther for the slip there through the terrain here. Pack 40 recruit and pursuit, but the strain to the engineers there. So the flamethrower crews could be a massive issue for Angreifen's pack crew there. Can't flank from the north. We got pioneers on the flank, but there won't be enough here. This is definitely a bit chaotic here. Panther 4 blitzing away. Mark vehicle on it here. Damage engine from the anti-tank grenade. Great stuff there. Easily has the fuel again. He just needs the manpower for the Tiger tank. And of course the commander, crucially. He needs that commander. Another T-34 the first gun on the Red Army. T-35 moving in, engaging the MD-42 out in the open. Field guns backing all up.
The sector has been cut off.
Quick ball shooting there. Got his Panther reinforcing healing. But we'll see what it's going to come. I mean, soon he can go for the Panther anyways. But my suspicion is, considering everything else, he is planning a Tiger tank here. That would be my definite suspicion here. No, he does go for the Panther. Well, go figure. Just seemed like, you know, all the evidence was a woman. Oh, cancels it. Yeah, it is the Tiger. It is the Tiger. Like, he might have briefly thought about the Panther on this, but then, you know, just kind of like, you know, did the math. Was like, well, I'm not that far away from a Tiger tank. Might as well go for it. That's it. Typically, again, I'm not a fan of these kind of like stalls for the big tanks, so they give your opponent more time to like control the map and bring up more stuff while you're not putting in a lot of pressure. So there's typically, I think, a fair amount of risk associated with the way he's going about it. So definitely not recommend that. I used to recommend some more medium armor, honestly, before going for the Tiger tank, but here we are. 23-minute mark. And summoning from nearby 560 Sierra Panzer Abteilung. The Tiger tank has arrived here. Heck, front trying to deal with the T-35 there. Good shot for the frontal armor. Going out with the mighty armored frame of the Tiger tank here. He's got the artillery barrage ready. He does have the infantry also not ready though to support, but he definitely needs infantry support, I think, to make this work. Good shot with the Panther on the rearm of the T-35. Tiger tank moving ahead here. And we go spotting the T-35. There we go. Good shot from the Tiger tank. Punches straight through the arm alongside the Panther 4 here. Charging in there for Deutschland. We got the field gun barrages, or lightning gun barrage there. Needs to fire some off there. Engineers caught here repairing. Tiger tank all ready with the Mark vehicle, increasing the damage inflicted on it. Almost got the T-45 infantry support. The crucially is not there, nor has he called in artillery. I feel like this is a bit of the potential mistake of Angreifen there. Got artillery called in here. Imagine on the field gun here to try and knock it out. There we go. Got one in the T-35 there. Got artillery fire raining down here. Iskra center is in a perilous position here. The infantry support that's known to be seen. The Tiger tank is getting focused down quite aggressively. I think the lack of infantry has been a big issue here. And there you go. The guards will be able to finish off the Tiger tank through the rear armor. In part thanks, there you go. 2 marked vehicle blocks on mine that laid down by Iskra previously. Cost Angreifen his Tiger tank. But it did do some damage. The question is, was this really worth a Tiger tank? And I think the answer to that may actually surprise, well, probably not surprise you, is that's going to be no. That Tiger tank would need to have done a lot more, I think, for it to be like remotely worth it. But yeah, he should have had infantry support for this attack here. I think had he had provided support there, he would help deal with the support weapons faster and other things. There we go. Abatsus the Panther's Iskra deviously crews up the field gun further by merging conscripts with it. Thumbs up there, that's an extra maneuver there. Some players occasionally overlook, but again, conscripts cannot just merge with the infantry squads, they can merge with support weapons. So for example, in these situations like getting a field gun quick recruit there in the heat of battle, it's very much possible by merging conscripts with it all the time. So thumbs up there to Iskra, that has some excellent conscript play there. Showing the power, I think, of the conscript's merge ability and of course the field gun. So this is a pretty bad engagement for Angreifen in the end. Again, crucially, should have supported that attack, actual infantry support weapons rather than just sending the Tiger tank and the Panther 4. Had he done that, I think this would work out much better for Angreifen. Instead, he ended up paying an incredibly high price here for taking out like 1 field gun in the end. Or T-35, I mean, which is, not great. So that was a pretty good engagement there for Iskra in the end. Pretty good engagement. I think Angreifen going to consider some Stroop 3 DC to tackle the T-35s. And bring in some more infantry could also, I think, be a good idea. T-35 ready here once more for Iskra and the Red Army. Bouncing straight for the centre there, Garton backing up the T-35 there. Note also merged conscripts with that one. Pack 40 shoots and misses. MD-42 about to get wiped out. There we go. Pop goes the Weasel. Light artillery barrage here. Field bombarding in return. Light artillery barrage doesn't actually end up doing a lot of damage to Iskra. That's pretty unfortunate there for Angreifen. Parts of what he's planning out, he's not going for a Panther 4, might be stressed, might be he's thinking Panther, even trying to go for another Tiger tank, but honestly at this point his infantry's just dying so fast, I don't think that's going to work out. Like, he's done just the Panzer with Gundies and the Pack 40 and some Pioneers, like everything else is affected at this point. Dead, and Iskra just ran off with the MD-42 here. Pack got wiped as well there. He's down just 3 infantry squads right now, this is Iskra. Well, 2 of them, taking this the Pioneers, which would be quite considered infantry, at least not frontline infantry, so this is really turning sour here for Angreifen. Great for Iskra, but this is pretty hard for Angreifen and the German army. He's at least finally pushing up into the western side of the map here, but that took forever. And there you go, lost the Panzer Grenadiers as well here. Going for a Panther 4. Another T-35 on the way for Iskra. He may want to consider calling in some Panzer Grenadiers or an Assault Grenadiers. But he definitely needs more infantry. 147 to 300. I'm surprised Angreifen is still playing this. I mean, this match, very much in most respects, I feel like, is pretty much over. Like, short of a miracle here, I don't think Angreifen really has a chance to win this over Iskra right now. I mean, we're really talking a major miracle here. Nope, he's just going for more regular Grenadiers. Further up north, there's sort of infantry advancing here. Advancing concerned with the stolen MD-42. T-35, they're almost fixed up again here for Iskra. Panzer 4 rolling out there for Angreifen. Plus the first Grenadier squad. It's just up against Ace Conscripts, Ace Guardsmen, T-35 is just a regular Grenadier squad at this point. I think he's not quite going to cut it for Angreifen, unfortunately. He's been murdered by the murdering the Indians, but the murdering return here. Panther 4 arrives here, going for the T-35. Not a great matchup there for the Panther 4, honestly. Not a great matchup at all. Mine set off. That doesn't do any damage to Iskra's pulling back troops there. West side there, Tifa rather engaging the outer outskirts here of Angreifen's base, clearing up the machine gun bunker there, guarding it up there. Pack 40 away the Angreifen, gunnies from east was there. A fierce fight here, but in the end, Angreifen seemingly keeps up the fight, though I'm not entirely sure why. He must think he has some way of like turning the tables in Iskra, but Iskra at this point I think is just utterly dominant here versus Angreifen. Like, you know, he's got multiple tanks here, one of them fairly veteran. He's got plenty of hardened Soviet infantry, heroes of the Soviet Union and everything, you know, Order of Lenin. So like Angreifen like is just doing this either out of stubbornness or wasting his opponent's time, or he genuinely thinks like, you know, he has a chance, and I just don't see how he can think that. But anyway, there you go. Panther 4 out there, completely wrecked here by Iskra's T-45, which is now gaining veteran 2 there, making it even more lethal here. If you got the Pack 40 out, the Angreifen's about to get wiped out here, and yeah, I think at this point he has dropped out there. I think he has dropped out. In fact, he's just got units doing nothing now. I think it's a strong indicator at this point. Yeah, he's gone. He has finally realized, you know, this battle is over. This battle is over. And again, we just got Iskra inside his opponent's base with the guard squad. But they're actually firing at the light mechanized company, ignoring the pack crew, which is kind of impressive. And there you go. GG, game over. Lost their Angreifen. The victory for Iskra. A fierce battle for a fight here. But in the end, Angreifen, I think, basically sort of blew it all with that push there with the target and that Panther 4 without sufficient support. He really should have supported that better. And honestly, some assault grenades to back it up, I think, would also been great, because the assault grenades with assault grenades at the right timing can also like really add some impact during an assault there. I think had Angreifen at least done that, I think it would have worked out better. But otherwise, again, I don't think he should have gone for the TIE tank like he did. He should have gone for more medium armor, and then gone for the TIE tank once he had a more stable armored force to, like, you know, allow him to go for the Tiger tank. So there you go. Though, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.